First Contact Protocol Captain Marcus Vale had seen his share of alien encounters during his 15 years, commanding the UES Defiant, but nothing quite like this. The sleek vessel that materialized from hyperspace didn't announce itself with weapons or threats. Instead, it simply hung there in the void, its crystalline hull pulsing with soft violet light. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," reported Lieutenant Torres from the communications station. "It's unusual." "Define unusual, Lieutenant. The signal is being transmitted directly into our neural networks. No radio waves, no quantum entanglement. It's as if they're speaking directly into our minds." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. Direct neural communication was theoretical at best for human technology. "Put it through." The voice that filled the bridge was melodic, almost hypnotic. "Greetings, humans of the vessel Defiant. I am Zixandra of the Ethereal Collective. We have traveled far to study your species. This is Captain Marcus Vale of the United Earth ship Defiant. State your intentions." A pause. Then something unexpected happened. The alien's voice carried what sounded distinctly like amusement. "Your heart rate has increased by 37%, Captain. Your skin temperature has risen by 2 degrees. Tell me, is that why you're shifting uncomfortably in your chair? Are you aroused by my voice?" The bridge fell silent. Marcus felt heat rise to his cheeks. "What kind of question is that?" "A curious one. We have observed many species, but humans are unique. You experience such intense emotional and physical responses to the unknown. It's fascinating." Before Marcus could respond, the alien ship's bay doors opened, and a small shuttle emerged. "I am coming aboard, Captain. I believe face-to-face communication will be far more enlightening." "Like hell you are. We haven't cleared you for. Your weapons cannot harm my vessel, and I pose no threat to yours. I am unarmed and alone. Unless, of course, you fear what you might discover about yourself." Marcus gritted his teeth. The alien was baiting him, and he knew it. But curiosity was eating at him. "Chief Rodriguez, prepare a security detail. We'll meet our guest in Cargo Bay 3. 20 minutes later, Marcus stood with 6 armed Marines as the alien shuttle touched down. The bay was sealed and pressurized. Every precaution taken. What emerged from the craft, however, defied all expectations. She was humanoid but clearly alien. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent quality, shifting between silver and deep blue. Her hair, if it could be called that, flowed like liquid starlight. She wore what appeared to be a form-fitting biosuit that left little to the imagination, accentuating curves that seemed designed to confuse human perception. "I am Zixandra," she said, her voice now carrying physical presence. "And you must be the captain whose thoughts are currently in such delightful chaos." Marcus forced himself to maintain eye contact. "You're reading my mind?" "Not reading, sensing. Your species broadcasts emotions like a beacon: fear, curiosity, desire." She tilted her head, studying him. "You're trying very hard not to look at my body, Captain. Why is that?" "Professional protocol," Marcus managed. "Ah, but your pupils are dilated. Your breathing is shallow. Your species' mating responses are triggered by visual stimuli, are they not?" She took a step closer. "Is that why you're blushing, human? You can't stop staring down there." The Marines shifted uncomfortably, weapons raised but uncertain. Marcus felt exposed, as if this alien could see through every defense he'd built. "What do you want from us?" he asked. Zixandra smiled, revealing teeth that gleamed like pearls. "To understand. My people abandoned physical form eons ago. We exist as pure consciousness, but we've lost something essential. The passion, the raw emotion, the beautiful chaos of biological existence." She gestured to herself. "This form is temporary, created specifically to interact with your species. And already, I find myself changed. I'm beginning to understand why physical beings cling so desperately to their flesh. You're studying us like lab rats." "No, Captain, I'm learning to be alive again." The experiment begins. 3 days had passed since Zixandra had taken up residence in the Defiant's guest quarters. What had started as a first contact situation had evolved into something far more complex. She moved freely through the ship, her presence causing ripples of confusion and fascination among the crew. Captain Marcus Vale found himself drawn to the mess hall during off hours, knowing she would be there. She had developed a habit of observing human social interactions, particularly during mealtimes. "Captain," she called out as he entered. "Join me. I have questions about human courtship rituals." Several crew members looked up from their meals, grinning. Word had spread quickly about the aliens' direct approach to sensitive topics. Marcus sat across from her, trying to ignore the knowing looks from his subordinates. "What courtship rituals?" he asked. "I've observed that Ensign Parker has been bringing Lieutenant Kim extra coffee every morning for 6 days. His heart rate increases when she smiles. She arranges her duty schedule to coincide with his, yet neither has acknowledged their mutual attraction. Why do humans make bonding so complicated?" Marcus nearly choked on his coffee. "It's not that simple, but it is. Your species responds to chemical signals, physical attraction, emotional compatibility. The data is clear. So why the elaborate dance? Because we're not just animals responding to instinct. We have emotions, fears, social structures." "Yes," she interrupted, leaning forward. "That's exactly what fascinates me. You've evolved beyond base survival, yet you still carry these beautiful, messy biological responses." Her eyes locked onto his, and Marcus felt that familiar discomfort. "You're analyzing me again. Always. You're the most interesting specimen I've encountered." "Specimen? Poor word choice. You're the most intriguing individual I've met." She reached across the table, her fingers brushing his hand. "Your skin is warm. I can feel your pulse through your fingertips. When I touch you, your entire neural network responds." Marcus pulled his hand back. "This is inappropriate. According to whose standards? Your military regulations? Your social conventions?" She tilted her head. "Or your personal fears?" Before he could answer, Chief Rodriguez approached their table. "Captain, sorry to interrupt, but we're receiving distress signals from the mining colony on Kepler 442b. Pirates." Marcus stood immediately. "How many ships?" "At least 4 raiders, sir. The colony's defenses won't hold. Set course immediately. Battle stations." He turned to Zixandra. "You might want to return to your quarters." "I think not. I'd like to observe human behavior under stress. This isn't a laboratory experiment. People are going to die. Which is precisely why I need to understand. My people have forgotten what it means to fight for something beyond themselves." An hour later, the Defiant dropped out of hyperspace near the besieged mining colony. 4 sleek raider ships circled the facility like vultures, their weapons tearing through the colony's shields. "Captain, they're demanding the colonists surrender their quantum extraction equipment," reported Torres. "Not happening. Target the lead raider. Fire on my command." The battle was intense but brief. The Defiant's superior firepower and Marcus's tactical experience quickly turned the tide. But as they moved to assist the damaged colony, Zixandra made an observation that chilled everyone on the bridge. "Your crew fought magnificently, Captain, but I noticed something fascinating. When you thought the colony might be lost, your emotional responses intensified dramatically. You weren't just following orders or protecting assets, you were genuinely angry." "Of course I was angry. Those people were innocent." "Yes, but that anger made you more effective, not less. Your tactical decisions became more creative, more aggressive. Your crew responded to your emotional state, fighting harder because they saw you cared." She paused, studying the tactical display. "My people eliminated such responses long ago, believing they were weaknesses. But you've weaponized your emotions, haven't you? You fight better because you feel deeply." Marcus looked at her with new understanding. "Is that what you came to learn?" "Among other things, but Captain, there's something else. Something I haven't told you about why I'm really here." The bridge crew turned to look at her, sensing the shift in her tone. "My people didn't just abandon physical form by choice. We're dying. Our consciousness is fading, becoming less coherent with each passing cycle. We believe that by studying species like humans, we might find a way back to the vitality we've lost. And have you found it? Zixandra smiled. But for the first time, it seemed sad. I'm beginning to understand what we gave up. But whether that knowledge can save my people, that remains to be seen. Dangerous territory. The mining colony rescue had changed something aboard the Defiant. Zixandra's presence, once merely disruptive, had become central to daily operations. She attended briefings, analyzed tactical scenarios, and continued her relentless study of human behavior. But her focus had narrowed considerably. Captain Marcus Vale found himself the primary subject of her attention. "Captain, a moment of your time?" she asked, appearing in his ready room doorway without announcement. "How do you keep getting past security? Your security measures are designed for physical intrusion. I can phase through solid matter when necessary." She settled into the chair across from his desk. "We need to discuss what happened during the battle." "What about it?" "You made 17 tactical decisions in the span of 4 minutes. Each one was influenced by your emotional state. Fear for the colonists drove you to take risks. Anger at the raiders sharpened your focus, but there was something else." Marcus set down his report. "What?" "You were showing off. For me." The accusation hung in the air like a charged particle. Marcus felt heat rise in his cheeks. "That's ridiculous." "Is it? Your maneuvers were more elaborate than necessary. You took unnecessary risks to demonstrate your ship's capabilities. Your crew noticed. Lieutenant Torres made a comment about the captain wanting to look good for the alien lady. My tactical decisions were sound. They were brilliant. That's my point." She leaned forward. "You perform better when you're trying to impress someone. You're attracted to. It's a fascinating adaptation. I'm not attracted to. Your pupils dilate when you look at me. Your voice changes pitch. Your body language shifts. You've rearranged your duty schedule to increase our interactions by 43% over the past week." Marcus stood abruptly. "This conversation is over." "No, it's not." She rose as well, moving around the desk. "Because now I understand what I've been missing. Which is the reason your species has conquered the galaxy while mine hides in the void." She reached out, her fingers tracing the rank insignia on his uniform. "You don't just feel emotions, you use them, channel them, transform them into strength." Her touch sent electricity through his nervous system. "Zixandra, stop. Your heart rate is 140 beats per minute. Your skin temperature has risen 3 degrees. You want to touch me, don't you?" "What I want is irrelevant." "But it's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you." Her hand moved to his chest, palm flat against his heartbeat. "My people eliminated desire because we thought it was weakness. But it's not weakness, is it? It's fuel." Marcus caught her wrist, intending to push her away. Instead, he found himself holding her hand against his chest. "This is dangerous territory. All the best discoveries are made in dangerous territory. You're not human. This, whatever this is, it can't work. I may not be human, but I'm learning to be alive. And you're teaching me." The intercom crackled. "Captain to the bridge. Priority 1. Marcus stepped back, breaking the connection. "We're not finished with this conversation." "No," she agreed. "We're not." On the bridge, chaos waited. Long-range sensors had detected a massive fleet approaching. From the edge of the system, the ships were unlike anything in the databases, organic in appearance, pulsing with the same violet light as Zixandra's vessel. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Torres reported. "It's in the same format as our guest's communications." "Put it through." The voice that filled the bridge was cold, imperious. "Zixandra of the Ethereal Collective, you have exceeded your mission parameters. Return to the fleet immediately." Zixandra had appeared on the bridge without anyone noticing her arrival. "I am still within the scope of my research, Collective Prime. Your consciousness patterns have been corrupted by prolonged exposure to biological entities. You are no longer fit for this mission. I am exactly what this mission requires. I am learning what we have forgotten. You are degenerating. Your thought patterns show alarming similarity to the primitive emotions of the creatures you study. You will be retrieved and purified. Marcus stepped forward. This is Captain Marcus Vale of the United Earth ship Defiant. Zixandra is under our protection. The biological entity speaks. How quaint. Your protection is irrelevant. Our vessel approaches. Zixandra will be retrieved whether she consents or not. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in tense silence. How long until they arrive? Marcus asked. 6 hours at their current speed, Torres replied. Marcus turned to Zixandra. What happens if they take you back? They will strip away everything I've learned, everything I've felt. I will return to the cold existence I've known for millennia. She looked at him with eyes that seemed almost human. I will forget what it means to be alive. Then we don't let them take you. Captain, their ship is easily 10 times our size. Our weapons won't even scratch their hull. Then we don't fight them with weapons. The choice, the ethereal collective's ship was a monument to alien engineering. 5 kilometers long and translucent as crystal, it drifted through space like a living cathedral. The Defiant looked like a toy beside it. Captain Marcus Vale stood in the cargo bay, watching Zixandra prepare for what might be their final encounter. She had changed, he realized. The aloof clinical observer who had first stepped aboard his ship was gone. In her place stood someone who seemed genuinely afraid. You don't have to do this, he said. We can run. Where would we go? They can. Track me across the galaxy. She turned to face him. Besides, running would only delay the inevitable. My people need to understand what I've learned. And what have you learned? That existence without passion is not life. It's just waiting to die. The intercom crackled. Captain, the collective ship is requesting permission to dock. Denied. They can transport over if they want to talk. Already? Did, sir. They're in cargo bay too. Marcus and Zixandra exchanged glances. They had expected this, but it still sent a chill through both of them. 3 beings materialized in the bay. They were similar to Zixandra in basic structure but radiated, a cold ethereal presence that made the air itself seem to freeze. Their leader, a tall figure with silver skin and eyes like dead stars, spoke without moving its lips. Zixandra of the 9th Research Circle, you have been contaminated. Return with us for purification. I have been enlightened, Prime Executor. There is a difference. You have been degraded to the level of biological thinking. You exhibit emotional responses, irrational decision-making, and attachment to primitive entities. Marcus stepped forward. Those primitive entities just saved a colony from pirates. We protect each other, fight for each other. What do you do besides drift through space like ghosts? The Prime Executor's gaze fixed on him with the intensity of a supernova. You dare address the collective? I dare to tell you that your way of existing isn't living at all. Captain, Zixandra warned, but he continued. You've given up everything that makes existence meaningful. Love, anger, hope, fear. These aren't weaknesses. They're what drive us to become more than we are. Observe, Zixandra, the Prime Executor said. The biological entity demonstrates the exact corruption we seek to eliminate. Emotional reasoning, irrational loyalty, primitive attachment responses. I observe a being willing to risk everything for someone he cares about, Zixandra replied. When did we last see such devotion among our people? Devotion is inefficient. It leads to poor decision-making and resource waste. Does it? Captain Vale's devotion to his crew made them fight harder in battle. His attachment to the colonists drove him to tactical brilliance. His feelings for me have awakened something I thought was permanently lost. The Prime Executor moved closer to Zixandra. You speak of feelings as if they were virtues rather than diseases. Perhaps they are virtues. Perhaps we made a mistake when we eliminated them from our existence. Enough. You will return with us. Your consciousness will be cleansed and you will resume your proper place in the collective. And if I refuse? You have no choice. Your physical form is a construct of our technology. We can simply deactivate it. Marcus felt something cold settle in his stomach. You're saying she's not really alive? She is a projection of consciousness into a temporary biological shell. When it ceases to function, she will return to her natural state. And what happens to everything she's learned? Everything she's experienced? It will be purged as contamination. That's murder. It is correction. Zixandra turned to Marcus, her expression desperate. There may be a way, but it's dangerous and I don't know if it will work. Tell me. I could transfer my consciousness permanently into this biological form, cut my connection to the collective entirely. But I would truly become mortal. I could age, suffer, die, but you would be free. Free to live as humans do, free to feel, to love, to fear. She looked at him intently. Free to choose my own path. The Prime Executor's voice cut through their conversation like ice. Such a transfer would be an abomination, a perversion of everything we are. Would it? Zixandra challenged. Or would it be an evolution? A return to something we lost long ago? Choose quickly, Marcus said. My security teams are reporting more collective ships dropping out of hyperspace. They're not here to negotiate. Zixandra closed her eyes, and for a moment her form flickered like a faulty hologram. When she opened them again, they blazed with determination. I choose mortality. I choose to live. The transformation was violent and beautiful. Light erupted from her skin as she severed her connection to the collective. The Prime Executor and his companions screamed, a sound like stellar wind through dying galaxies, as her consciousness fully integrated with biological form. When the light faded, Zixandra collapsed to her knees, gasping. Marcus caught her, feeling the weight of her truly physical body for the first time. Did it work? He asked. She looked up at him with eyes that were no longer alien but entirely her own. I don't know, but I'm about to find out. New life. The ethereal collective fleet departed without ceremony, leaving behind only the echo of their displeasure. Zixandra, or rather the being who had once been Zixandra, sat in the Defiance medical bay, undergoing scans that revealed the impossible. Her biology is completely stable, Dr. Martinez reported to Captain Marcus. Vale, whatever she did, it worked. She's as human as any of us now, just with some interesting genetic variations. How do you feel? Marcus asked, sitting beside her on the medical bed. Different. Heavy. I can feel my heart beating, my lungs breathing. Every sensation is so intense. She flexed her fingers, watching the play of muscle and bone beneath skin. I'm mortal now, truly mortal. Do you regret it? She considered this for a long moment. Ask me in 50 years. What if I'm not around in 50 years? Then I'll spend however long I have left remembering what it felt like to be alive because of you. The intimacy of the moment was interrupted by Lieutenant Torres's voice over the intercom. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. Command. They want a full report on our diplomatic encounter. Marcus sighed. This is going to be interesting to explain. I could help with that, Zixandra offered. I know things about the galaxy that could be valuable to your people. Trade routes, resource locations, other species you haven't encountered yet. Is that why you stayed? To be useful? No. She reached for his hand, her fingers intertwining with his. I stayed because for the first time in millennia, I wanted something more than knowledge. I wanted to feel what it's like to be part of something larger than myself. And what's that? A crew, a family, a future that isn't predetermined by collective consciousness. Over the following weeks, Zixandra integrated into the Defiance crew with surprising ease. Her alien perspective proved invaluable in diplomatic situations, while her newfound humanity endeared her to the staff. She learned to laugh at Chief Rodriguez's jokes, to enjoy the simple pleasure of human food, and to understand why humans valued privacy and individual identity. But it was her relationship with Marcus that truly defined her new existence. I've been thinking, she said one evening as they walked through the ship's observation deck, Earth's blue marble rotating slowly beyond the transparent aluminum. About what? About the choice I made. My people would say I became weak, that I abandoned perfection for the chaos of biological existence. What do you say? I say they were wrong about perfection. Perfect systems don't grow, don't adapt, don't discover anything new. They just exist. She stopped walking and turned to face him. You humans, you're gloriously imperfect. You make mistakes, you feel too much, you fight wars over principles and fall in love with people who challenge everything you believe. Sounds like you're describing chaos. I'm describing life. Real life. The kind my people forgot existed. Marcus studied her face in the starlight. So what happens now? Do you miss being immortal? I miss the certainty sometimes. The knowledge that I had unlimited time to understand everything. But I don't miss the emptiness. She reached up, her palm touching his cheek. I'd rather have 50 years of feeling everything than eternity of feeling nothing. You know this. Complicates everything, right? Regulations, protocols, the fact that you're technically still an alien. Technically, I'm whatever I choose to be. And I choose to be human. I choose to be part of your crew. I choose to be part of your life, if you'll have me. Marcus pulled her closer, feeling the warmth of her body, the reality of her presence. I thought you were supposed to be studying us. I did. And I learned that the most important discoveries aren't made in laboratories or through clinical observation. They're made when you stop analyzing and start participating. And what did you discover? That love isn't a biological response or a chemical reaction or an evolutionary advantage. It's a choice. Every day you choose to care about someone more than yourself. You choose to be vulnerable, to risk everything for the possibility of connection. Is that what you're doing now? Choosing? Every moment. She smiled, and for the first time since he'd known her, it was completely, utterly human. I'm choosing to live, Marcus. Really live. And I'm choosing to do it with you. As the stars wheeled overhead and Earth turned beneath them, two beings from different worlds discovered that the greatest journey wasn't through space, but through the courage to open their hearts to someone else. In choosing mortality, Zixandra had found immortality of a different kind, the kind that lives on in the connections we make and the love we share. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, but none greater than the simple miracle of two conscious beings choosing to face the unknown together. In the end, that was the most human thing of all.